So hold on, I'm letting somebody in. Okay, so we start off with a disclaimer. None of the information in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure for any illness or disease. What all Sunriders know that have been around for any period of time is that that's not necessary for us, but for new people, they need to understand we aren't curing, we aren't even focused on disease, we're focused on wellness, and it's a much higher standard that we accept and really practice in our lives is one of taking responsibility. So we are not trying to diagnose or cure anything. We don't even think about that. We think about being well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. Now, I like having people on the side so that we can see some people. So Sunshine, can you tell me, is there a way to have this bigger and still see people?
Click slideshow. It should still work. Go to slideshow at the top, almost middle.
Okay. Okay.
And go to the far left from beginning.
Hold on, I'm letting people in.
Lisa, I think we lost.
Far
I think we lost Judy. I don't see her on anymore.
Well, hopefully
I'm here. I had to go grab my.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Sunshine. So then over to what?
Slideshow.
I already did that.
Okay, now does it says like from beginning? Far left says from beginning.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. So this is Dr. Tay Fu and Dr. Oilin Chen, and they are the owners of our company, and he is a pharmacologist and a master herbalist, and she is a medical doctor. And between the two of them, they've developed Sunrider. The thing that is one of the reasons that we tell this is because Dr. Chen is from Taiwan, and this particular shot is out of a book called A Taiwan Insight Guide. And that book has a section in it about Chinese medical practices or healing. And this is a quote from that Taiwan Insight Guide. The reason I put this in here, because I love this, I love that this is where Dr. Chen came from. So when he came to this country, he worked for 2 other herbal companies, and he was trying to get them to do a food herb line in order to create wellness in the body. And he said, even though you're doing good herbs, you're doing medicinal. So he was in product and development, and he kept trying to get them to do this. And they were still focused on healing a crisis situation. And he was talking about regenerating the body. So this is a quote from his history. Sun Tzu Mo was also medical history's first dietary therapist. In his famous study, Precious Recipes, he wrote, a truly good physician first finds out the cause of the illness, and having found that, he first tries to cure it by food. Only when food fails does he prescribe medication. So this is where Dr. Chen comes from, and this is what he brought to our country. Thank goodness, or thank Chen. Okay, so this is to show you how the Chens are recognized worldwide. All these awards are because of the excellence. You'll notice down at the bottom, it's kosher and Islamic approved. They are world renowned. We're in over 50 countries now. And so this is very important to know. Okay, everything that we have in our Sunrider product line, in all 400 products that we have, is based on the philosophy of regeneration. And which is that when you nourish and cleanse your body with a variety of whole foods, you bring your body's 5 systems into balance. And regeneration is simply that. It's putting superior nutrition into your body, and therefore your cells become superior cells, slough off the old, and are made new with this good nutrition. And therefore you regenerate. So that's regeneration, and it's the foundation of our product line. So we all know how we should eat. This is a picture of how some of us do eat, and periodically we do eat. And I think of this as food for our entertainment rather than for our health. These things we don't want to eat at all, but if we do eat them at all, we want to do it very seldom so our body can handle it. These are over processed, sugared, have tons of preservatives, and they create imbalance in the body. And there's a whole bigger list than that. This is what people know that they should eat when they're trying to improve their health. They eat fruits, vegetables, hopefully organic, beans and rice. The problem is that even if we do this, even if we're eating these foods from the grocery store, the foods today are grown in soil that is depleted. They're picked too soon so they can be shipped far. Then they're shipped too far, and then they're sitting in markets, and then we buy them and take them home, and we don't always use them right away. And the problem with that is that they start dying. So even if we're eating like this, it is not enough food nutrition in order for our bodies to work properly. So now Wendy's going to talk about the Sunrider principles.
Yeah, so we really, all of the product lines are based along the principle of regeneration. So we believe that the body has the ability to heal itself when properly nourished. The nourishment should come primarily from whole foods, and we need to take responsibility for our own health. So now I'd like to go into whole foods versus isolates. Our bodies are designed to be nourished with whole foods. That's the best. What do you think would happen to a person if they just tried to live on vitamin tablets? It takes a lot of energy to break down isolated vitamins or chemicals, and sometimes we'll pass them exactly as we ate them. We'll assimilate more of the vitamins in whole foods, but the concentration's not very high. For example, here in the orange versus the vitamin C tablet, we intuitively sense that the orange is better for us being a whole food, but the vitamin C has higher milligrams, but you'll assimilate less. So the dilemma, until Dr. Chen comes in with the solution, the whole is worth more than the sum of its parts, and substitution creates side effects and dependency. So he's given us concentrated herbal whole foods coupled with his knowledge and experience of Eastern ancient herbs and the state-of-the-art technology from the West. I remember Dr. Chen using the example of broccoli to describe the superiority of whole foods over chemical isolates. Because broccoli is a good cancer fighter, but how much broccoli can you eat, right? So the scientific researchers for the pharmaceutical companies studied isolating that component responsible with the idea of using it for a cancer drug. But you know what they found? Whenever you isolated that part, it no longer worked outside of the wholeness function. So this is the gift that we have in Sunrider. They are highly concentrated, system-specific herbal foods that we'll detail for you more as we go on. So back to Judy.
Hi, I get to talk about the 3 different categories of herbs. And it's so important that we understand the difference of herbs because they all have a value, and yet we need to know what they are, because we all want to get the most for our dollar when we purchase our groceries and foods, but how much more so for our health dollar. So the first category is poisonous. Now that sounds pretty scary, and you're right. That isn't something we want to eat in the live plant form. As you see this beautiful flower here, the foxglove, that's dangerous to us, could actually kill us. But when processed, it can be used as medicine. In fact, most of us have heard of digitalis, and that can be very beneficial if diagnosed and used in a proper manner for in heart situations. Even recreational drugs could come in this category also. And I guess those are meaning you didn't get a prescription for it, but they also can have dangerous side effects. So the next category is probably the one we're most familiar with, and that would be medicinal herbs. And one that many people might be familiar with is Cascara sagrada. And this particular herb really illustrates the point of why there is a medicinal category. And when we think of taking medicine, it's because we have a specific need. We have a problem. We want to take something for it. So rather than turning to a medication or a prescription, we might choose a medicinal herb. Cascara sagrada is traditionally used for intestinal difficulties, more specifically constipation. And it does work, I can say. However, when you take a medicinal herb, first of all, it works quickly, usually, but unfortunately, if you start taking it regularly, you keep needing to add more, much as a case of pain medication. So it actually is in the category of medicine. And so it does the work the body should be doing itself. And contrasting that with if you were eating more fiber or things like that to try to help your colon or a constipating situation, the body would have to work. Whereas Cascara sagrada, it does the work for you. So anytime we let something else do the work, we usually don't learn and don't do it as well. A good example would be if you break your arm. If you've ever had any part of your body in a cast, you know that when you take that cast off, it doesn't work well. You have to get it to function. So medicinal herbs definitely have a place. If I'm in a car wreck, please don't bring me a banana. You know, I want to go to the hospital. So each one has its own category. But what we're talking about in Sunrider is the next category. And we have to constantly remind ourselves that Sunrider foods are whole foods and are food grade herbs. And that's the beauty in this, because food works. Food works for everyone. Different amounts, different timing, and different combinations. But our body knows how to use food. It knows how to send it to the parts that need it. It knows how to nourish itself, and it wants those things. So Sunrider's concentrated whole foods make all the difference. And just as we learned from Wendy, whole food is not the same as isolating an isolate or a bottle of something. I'd much rather have an orange tree in my backyard than a bottle of vitamin C tablets sitting on my patio table. Because long term, I'm going to get more value from the orange tree. The problem comes in, just as both Wendy and Lisa mentioned, is getting enough food today to make the difference. So that's where Sunrider comes in, but we'll hear more about that in just a second. But a good example is a banana. Most of us don't even think of the herb as a banana, and yet it would be classified as a food grade herb. Now, some of us know or have heard our whole life that bananas probably give us potassium, and it's good for that. But actually, it has many different things that it's good for. And yet we know we can't get all our nutrition from just one source, even though the banana is fabulous. So again, we need to think of our Sunrider foods as whole foods. And if we are eating whole foods, though, we might ask the question, why do we need Sunrider? So Wendy, I think you're going to help us with that.
Yes. So why eat Sunrider if we're already eating organic fruits and vegetables? We have to eat enough nutrition to get through the day. If you think of it that food equals fuel, Sunrider gives us the extra fuel, not just for today, but to clean up the past and to regenerate for the future. That's a very exciting concept. And so we're going to first talk about variety. and our bodies crave variety. We're told to eat at least 5 different vegetables a day. And by adding the Sunrider to our diets, we are adding tons of vegetables. Just look at quinary as an example, over 50 herbs, great variety in just one product. I was saying to Gary, you're not eating enough vegetables. And he said, well, I had quinary today, so I had 50. And I really couldn't argue with him. So we have the variety there. Okay, next is quality. And so first of all, I want to mention that we have no fillers, synthetic chemicals, artificial ingredients, no GMOs. Other companies have diluted products, cheap fillers, artificial sweeteners, chemical additives. We don't outsource to vendors. We don't lose control. We don't have unlabeled ingredients. And we have high quality products that are grown under protected conditions and in the environment. And as was mentioned, Sunrider has received many awards for the cleanliness. The manufacturing plant is like an operating room with coved walls and instead of corners where dust might accumulate. We're doing the protective equipment, masks, filtered air, way before COVID. And it is an NSF certified manufacturing facility. So NSF stands for National Sanitation Foundation, and we often have 100% ratings, which is unheard of in the industry. We've also received the Good Manufacturing Process Award. So you can have a lot of confidence in the quality of the Sunrider products. So moving on to formulation. Okay, we covered cleanliness. Okay, so formulation, Dr. Chen is an herbal master. The herbs are formulated yin yang, balanced in and out, hot, cold, acid, alkaline. And so the herbs are harvested at their peak, some at night, some after 10 years of growing. And let's see, using the wisdom of ancient manuscripts, that's not really practiced in China today. That's why there's over 6,000 Sunrider stores in China. Why did they need ours? You know how much tea they have in China. It's because we have something that they can't duplicate. Moving on to concentration, the herbs are juiced. Think of the example of 7 carrots to 1 glass of juice. For New Plus, there's about 10 pounds of herbs concentrated into 1 pound of product with no filler or chemicals. So we have really high concentration. System specific, there are certain herbs that feed some organs better. So it's like a shopping list for your organs or systems, which you need to work at top performance. We know that carrots are good for our eyes, walnuts for the brain. Another component is the 5 color philosophy. Colors affect the organs, like green is good for the liver, red for the heart. And so that's why Sunrider foods are so superior. In fact, long before sick people were eating Sun Packs, the NBC, it was world-class athletes because they felt the difference immediately in their bodies. Johnny Gene Goldberg, I remember 30 some years ago, he talked about using Fortune Delight and New Plus even during competition because it takes so little energy to digest, but gives you back so much. And so for me, in my opinion, that makes it a great business because people buy it every month, whether they hear from me or not. It's not a matter of selling where you call and they buy if you sell. People love the Sunrider foods, as probably all of you on this call do today. So let me see. We're going to go to Lisa to talk about how to get started.
Okay, so the way that we get started is actually the Sunrider meal, and next week we're going to be talking about the Daily Wellness 5. So look forward to that. So I'm going to stop sharing for the moment, and I'm going to talk about the Sun Pack food or the Sunrider meal, and that is a combination of foods. And the reason that it's called a meal is because most of us eat it in this combination. It's encouraged that we get started this way because it It's a nourish, balance, and cleanse system. And that's what our bodies need to do. They need to be nourished, and then it balances itself. So we have systems in place that need to be balanced, like our blood pressure, our pancreas. That's what we're looking for, is homeostasis in the body, normalcy. And so then we also need for our own bodies to clean. And that's what the Sun Pack meal, or the Sunrider, we used to call it the Sun Pack meal. The Sunrider meal is actually designed to do that. So that's how we encourage people to get started, and then later on target maybe body systems to feed the body more. So I'll get started with Cali, and Cali comes in 3 different flavors, and it comes in cinnamon, mint, and our regular flavor. And these tea bags, you put them in hot water. The food value of the food is sprayed onto the tea leaf, and when you put it in the hot water, not boiling because you'll kill it, the food falls off into the water, and then you drink it as a food drink. Okay, specifically all 3 are the Cali formula, but we only started with this one when I was first in Sunrider, and then he developed Cali cinnamon, Cali mint. And what he said when he developed those is Cali mint is the same formula, but it also helps with sinuses. And the Cali cinnamon is the same formula, but it also helps with the digestive system. So like if you had something going on in your stomach, you could drink a cup of Cali cinnamon. Okay. Then we have New Plus, and I went to put these together, and I'm like, we have so many flavors now. We only had, to start with, we really only had one flavor, which was kind of like this one. And now we have original that has no beans. We have simply herbs that has no fruit. Then we have apple cinnamon. We have naturally plain with has some apple in it. Mixed berry, cocoa, and strawberry. So this is a complex carbohydrate with beans, except for this one doesn't have the beans for people who don't want beans. And it's our foundation food. It gets the body ready for everything else that we eat. It prepares the body, is the way Dr. Chen talked about it. And babies have often started as their first food. They start with New Plus, and people that are maybe going through chemotherapy, they can eat the New Plus to support their body while they're going through things like that. So New Plus is phenomenal. Then we have Quinary. In Quinary, we talked about the 5 body systems. So this feeds the 5 systems of the body. This is in capsule form, this is in powder form, and this is a liquid, just a shot, which is, I have 2 of these every day, and I do 1 of these every day, okay? And it's the one that's concentrated with 50 different ingredients in it, 50 different vegetables. So that one is fabulous. Then we have the stevia, which I don't have the other one, but there's 2 stevias. And the stevia is not just the stevia, our stevia. I know you can buy stevia out there, but Sunrider actually put in with the FDA, they actually gave them literature on stevia too, so that we could start calling it a supplement. And that way it opened up the door for everybody else who sells stevia to say the same thing. But ours is very outstanding because this one tastes like fruit. The other one kind of is licoricey, because it's antifungal and antibacterial, and it's also helps to balance blood sugar and blood pressure. So even if you don't like a sweet taste, we tell people put at least a drop or 2 in your drinks, because that will help you for your health. Then I'm going to add to this combination, which is not really the Sunrider meal, but it's something we all drink every day, is the Fortune Delight. And I'm just going to show that briefly. All the flavors: cinnamon, peach, regular tea flavor, raspberry, lemon. This is the large package that I make every day and keep it in the refrigerator, and it's peach. And I'm going to be talking about the Fortune Delight more in just a bit. So that's the Sunrider meal. And now Judy's going to talk to us about the Sunfit 321. And I'm going to.
Yes, we're all excited about this. I'll wait for the picture. If it's coming. There it is. Our new wellness package just launched about a week ago, and we're really excited about it because it combines 3 of fabulous products that people have grown to love, especially more so lately. It's called Sunfit 321 because there's 3 products and 2 paths, and meaning that fitness is about 2 things really. Sometimes some of us might think of, oh yeah, I've been stuck inside my house. I need to lose a couple pounds. To someone else, it might mean being sure their muscle tone is good for performance, for athletic type things. They're walkers or they're bicycle riders, or they want to be hiking and they want to not get out of breath. And if you need more incentive even than that, fitness is about health in general, because if we have good muscle tone, we don't age as quickly. So personally, I don't go to the gym and things like that, but I want to be strong enough to dig holes and plant trees. That's what's important to me. So fitness is about what we need to feel good to do, whether it's play with our grandchildren. I hadn't ridden a bike in a while, and I was out there trying to ride the bike with my grandchildren, and it was just like slow motion right over the top. So I thought, hey, I need a little bit more get in shape with this bicycle riding stuff. So whatever it is, we can all benefit from this, whatever age, and maybe even more so as we do age. So it's 3 products. So we're going to begin now, and Wendy's going to share with us a great new product. Well, great new flavor in this product, not quite as new, but fabulous, Protein Plus.
Yeah, so the Protein Plus, I really love it. I loved it in the vanilla. I haven't tried the new flavor caramel macchiato yet, but I remember Judy telling me it was really delicious. So I'm excited about that. And it's available now. So Sunfit Protein Plus, it's 20 grams of easy to digest pure plant protein. It has no sugars, added sugars, dairy, artificial sweetness, or chemicals. And so the Protein Plus goes beyond traditional protein. It has vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids. It has all 9 essential amino acids and the high protein benefits of the dairy or whey protein, but it's 100% vegan. So that's really cool. It has koi fruit in it. Most of us recognize that as being in our new plus. And so it's rich in fiber, antioxidants, polyphenols, which are known as lifespan essentials. It supports digestion, weight loss, like Judy mentioned, and it helps decrease fat and cholesterol absorption. And then the bamboo fiber in it, this plant-based fiber aids digestion and helps you feel fuller. So we still have the vanilla flavor and we have the caramel. And you know, the directions say to use 2 scoops for a serving. I've been only using 1 scoop, but I've reaped a lot of benefits and it lasts twice as long. So I think you'll really love the Sunfit Protein Plus.
Okay, next is the Fortune Delight, the one that I showed you all the flavors. And it's one of our antioxidant beverages. And it's a highly concentrated and herbal blend that cleanses, nourishes, and balances your body with vital nutrients and antioxidants. One of its ingredients is Camellia sinensis, and that the catechins in this herb amplify your body's natural cleansing process by helping neutralize free radicals. And the chrysanthemum flower extract, which is one of the ingredients, is a plant that protects with antioxidants and essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, folate, iron, sodium, and potassium. And jasmine extract is a flower that supports digestion, toxin removal, metabolism, and circulation. It's one of our beverages that actually nourish the cleansing system so that your cleansing systems will work better. There are a couple of our products like action caps that when you do the action caps to break down the fat, you need to drink lots of Fortune Delight to take the fat then that's coming out of your body, all the way out of your body. So Fortune Delight, an exceptional antioxidant drink. And next is VitaTaste.
Okay, yay, VitaTaste. I tell you, this is fast becoming one of my favorite products because it blocks simple sugar and the simple carbs from being absorbed in the body, slows it down so that what that means, the translation is, if you happen to be deciding to have pizza one night, you would take this ahead of time so that that wouldn't have such a negative effect on the body. So it's made, it has 3 ingredients in it, one of which you're familiar with, but the first one is Jemima, and that is what blocks the actual sugar absorption, slows it down. Koi fruit, which is actually in our New Plus, and koi fruit does somewhat the same thing. So this was a different thought to me because I didn't think of the koi being in the VitaTaste, but what it actually does is it decreases the fat and cholesterol absorption. And then there's something called lotus root, and lotus root helps block because of fiber. So all of this together translates as, if you have low blood sugar, you can then balance it. If you are eating something you don't want to absorb, you can block it. And that's how I used to use it. I used to use it, oh, hey, someone invited us, you know, in the old days, remember when we used to go to people's house for dinner? Well, sometimes there would be dessert. And I thought it's only right to eat people's dessert. They worked hard on it. But what I would always do is I would take some VitaTaste beforehand, or maybe even slip some extra, because if the dessert looked really good and I knew I was going to eat the whole thing, I would take it and I would think, yay, I got away with that. So it says right on the thing, you can treat your taste buds without the guilt. Now that's how I kind of used it. But since I'm prone to low blood sugar, and then, you know, it can fluctuate, I have benefited the most by taking it regularly with every meal. It has stabilized the ups and downs, and it actually works in spite of me. And sometimes I think, oh, what would be good to eat? And, you know, Steve, my husband, might suggest something. I think, nah, I really don't want that. So it actually changes your taste bud over a period of taste buds over time to where you desire the more healthy and good things. Now, the recommendation is 1 capsule 5 to 15 minutes before you eat. I've always taken 2. And then more recently, I've heard some people that definitely need to lose weight or have definite sugar imbalances. Maybe for a while, they need to even take as many as 3. But start slow, try it out, and hey, don't leave home without it. I want to show you.
I just want to add something about VitaTaste, because a friend of ours years ago, she wanted her husband to get off Twinkies because he was eating them every day at lunch. So she didn't tell him, but she just added VitaTaste to his combination of Sunrider products. And it took about 2 weeks and it changed the taste of it. And he came home and said, I'm not going to eat Twinkies anymore because I think they've changed the formula because they don't taste good anymore. And she never told him, but he never ate Twinkies after that.
That's the benefit. I wanted to show quickly too, just the packet that we now can buy sample packets. And that's where I had to black box myself and run get mine and open it because it just came yesterday. But you get a sample of all 3 products. And so this is a great way to share it because they get to try the capsules, the Fortune Delight, and half of the sample packs have the caramel macchiato and the other half have the vanilla. So this is an excellent way to share with your friends. And also, I mean, even a convenient way to slip it in your purse. So I hope you'll try it. And Wendy's going to tell us, how do we order Sunrider?
Yeah, I was just going to also mention, because on the VitaTaste, I had a similar experience when I was at a convention. A lady was telling us that her husband, she felt he was drinking too much and she wanted him to cut back, but he wasn't cooperating. So she started sneaking the VitaTaste into his shakes. And then he started complaining that are you buying the cheaper liquor? It doesn't taste right. And eventually he just cut way back on his drinking. So the VitaTaste is really makes unwholesome things less appealing. So that was very good. Okay, so to start your adventure, there's 3 ways. It mentions IBO, preferred customer, or retail customer. So as a retail customer, you have access to the website 24/7. You can also get printouts of the fact sheets and depth information. And we're there to help you. We have a really good exceptional customer service. As far as a preferred customer, there is discounted buying, and coming soon, a new referral bonus will be added to the program. And so that will make it even more attractive. But you receive 5 or 10% discounts on your orders. So preferred customer. IBO. So if you're truly interested, IBO stands for Independent Business Owner. So if you're truly interested in building a business, we have a different referral program that you can tap into, and you'll get paid just for sharing your products. So you get 15% discount and this compensation, and you have your own personal website with exclusive shopping links. So you have your own URL. So those are the 3 different ways to join. And you can always upgrade if you decided to start one way and then you wanted to change and do something else. So welcome.
Okay, so now's the time that's a lot of our favorites time is what benefits have you experienced from eating Sunrider products? So we don't have any setup experiences today because we know we have a group of people who are willing to share. I would, Wendy, Judy, I would like both of you to share, please, just for the sake of hearing it. Where'd they go?
I'm hiding.
What did you want? Did you
experience? We're gonna do experiences.
Okay. So you wanted me to share my experience? Is that what you were saying?
Please.
Okay.
We have some new people on here, so yes.
Okay. So real briefly, when I started Sunrider some 30 years ago, I was very ill, and I had been diagnosed with a chronic illness, Addison's disease, and I had other problems, and it took a long time to get diagnosed. I'd been in bed for a long time. They were thinking maybe it was multiple sclerosis. I couldn't walk. And so just around that time, somebody introduced me to the Sunrider products, and first thing I drank was the Cali tea, and I felt really good on the Cali and then New Plus. And so after eating those for a few days, I was able to get myself up and get myself organized enough to go to a homeopathic doctor. And I was actually able to drive myself there. And then he said I was the sickest person he'd ever tested for Epstein-Barr virus. So, but I really liked the Sunrider, and I brought it, and he tested me on it, and he said it was really, really helping me. And so I started working with him and doing the Sunrider. And within a few months, I was much, much improved. And so as people saw that I was getting better because I'd been so sick for so long, they were asking, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I would tell them a little bit, but it was a lot of energy for me to explain all of that. So Julie Herring, many of you know, she's our mother in Sunrider, my sponsor and so forth. And so Judy says, "You know what we should do, Wendy? We should have a meeting and just invite everybody to come, and we'll tell them all at once about it." And so that's when Judy came, and some of the others that we've had with us for so many years, maybe Donna Horton, I think. And maybe Susie Hughes, or maybe you came a little bit later. But anyway, so from that meeting, so many people started eating the products and getting better. And since I was doing multiple things, I was really very encouraged to see people who were just doing Sunrider were really improving. And so it gave me even more confidence with the products. And so I just accidentally, I not only got better, but I accidentally fell into the business, because after 3 months later, the volume, I remember Julie calling me and saying, Wendy, can you believe this month we've sold $10,000, or people have bought $10,000. And so it was just amazing. So I really love the Sunrider Foods. I love sharing it. I love helping people, and I enjoy it as a business too.
Thank you. Okay, so now that leads us into Judy.
Okay, well, I was born into a family of naturalists, so to speak. And so I was natural when natural wasn't cool, I guess you could say. I was the only kid at school who came with a chunk of lettuce and didn't order milk for. So I come from a long line of it. And as is usually the case, people into natural cures and natural way of doing things usually have had a lot of health challenges. And that was the case. And once I had my family, and I thought I had done a lot of things to have health and children that were healthy, which they were great, healthy babies, but had a lot of allergies. So I spent a lot of my time in the health food store, health food lectures, health food, what are they called? Seminars, everything that you go and learn about health food at. So I was always trying everything to improve the health of my family. So I knew that Wendy had a lot of health challenges, and then I heard she was much better. And when I asked, well, what did she find out? What's wrong? What did she do? And they said, oh, some kind of Chinese herbs. And that caught my attention, because I kind of felt that she leaned more towards medical things, and I was always after something more natural, so to speak. So, and it was great, because when I heard about the Sunrider Foods, and I had been into a lot of medicinal herbs in the past, and I had quit working, frankly, or in helping my family to the degree I needed them to be able to. I need my children to be last at school all day. I needed not to have them catching things, not be allergic to everything. And so I asked Wendy, okay, well, I think I read about it, need the Conco. She goes, oh no, there's only one product, the Sun Pack. And I thought, oh boy. So I bought a Sun Pack, didn't pay the electric bill that month, but bought the Sun Pack. But I had my whole family take it, because I didn't want my kids saying, oh, this makes me feel so and such, or it tastes terrible, or whatever. So I gave it to everyone. And interestingly enough, even though it was more for my children, the biggest difference, I felt different the first day. My husband was a different person by the end of the week. He actually worked all day, came home, mowed the yard, and played with the kids. And I thought, oh my, he's going to die tomorrow, but at least we have a nice memory. So right away, I noticed a difference. And interestingly, I thought, we're going to eat this, and we're going to need a lot of it. And I thought, oh my, what am I going to do next month? Because I'm going to have 2 electric bills to pay. But because we were kind of known as people always searching, and then finally we found something that worked, people did notice a difference. And I had something I would always share health ideas and health books with people, but when you really have something exciting, it's just natural to share it. So I, like Wendy, was not after a business, but it sort of turned into that automatically. And I'm eternally grateful, because I'm my best customer. And I think the day I'm not, I won't share it with someone else. So I love the products, have for over 30 years. And I'm very excited that we have this platform, so to speak, to share it with others.
Thank you. Carla, will you share yours?
Oh my, wasn't quite expecting it. I was ready to turn on the light. Anyway, my Sunrider experience started when I had fallen very, very sick, which was very, very unusual. Caught me off guard. I've never been sick. I was flat on my back sick, right in the middle of training for a race, a 10K. So it was totally unexpected. I thought it was just a 24-hour bug. It lasted and lasted. It started at the end of December. And by February, everybody was really concerned because why aren't you getting better? When I finally was able to get out of the house, I went to a meeting and I overheard somebody talking about how they were helped with something. And I said, excuse me, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just overheard this conversation, but I need to know more. And they told me about this person, a friend in Florida, Julie Herring, who uses these products and she could help me. So I contacted her right away. And Julie called me after she realized how sick I was and said, you have a lot going on, but you could get better. I said, what do I need to do? And she said, well, you need some better nutrition. I said, I'll go to the health store and get it, the health food store. And she said, you need a higher level of nutrition. I said, well, what is it? She said, you need Sunrider. So I said, what do I need? And she told me what I need. And as soon as I put it in my body, I realized there was this recovery period. And it was after that that I had met another friend, Lois, and she said, Carla, I'll come to your house and I'll tell you why Julie Herring recommended Sunrider. And I thought, well, I'm feeling good now. I don't need to know anymore. And she came and insisted, and she did a stellar presentation. And then she gave me 2 Vita Shakes, which I never had. And I was a runner at the time and still running. I mean, I had just picked up the running again, but I always had a nagging Achilles tendon from high school running and carrying on. So it was those 2 sample Vita Shakes that I took as a meal replacement and went for a run, and that Achilles injury was disappeared. And I thought, what? So I ran home and I called her and I said, I need to know more and I need to know more. Well, she told me what she could, and she was on her way back home, which is down south. Sorry, it's getting so dark in here, but anyway, it's right after that that I wanted to tell everybody. So I made a list of friends. I said, I got to tell people about this. Started with my family, and it was an every Saturday thing. Carla's house at 2:00. You learn about these foods. And it just took off into my business. So these products went to work right away, but the real tip to the sharing was the Vita Shake, just 2 of them. And it took that noticeable injury. I knew I had gotten better from the serious sickness, but when that injury went away so fast, I thought, oh my, people need to know about this. So I've been sharing since 2001, and my business is doing quite well. And I just love this opportunity.
Thank you. Tiffany.
Okay, so I'm coming on camera, even though I did nothing with
You look
myself.
adorable.
I wrote a few things down just because I gave my experience a couple weeks back and wanted to say a few things I hadn't. But my mom was someone who had lots of sugar-related problems in her family, and she kind of yo-yoed. She would eat a ton of sugar, get strung out, feel bad, and then she'd clean up her diet, feel better. But when she was pregnant with me, she did not experience any of the negative side effects from eating sugar. So she went all out in those 9 months she was pregnant with me, to my detriment. And when I was born, she brought me home from the hospital, and 2 days later she called the doctor because I had not done a bowel movement yet, which was a foreshadowing of many things to come, but it took many years for that to manifest itself. When I was 14 years old, I was a freshman in high school, and I had 0 energy. I went to school, just got through my day, came home, went to bed. I literally slept all day, woke up for dinner, went back to bed, and that was my life. And then by sophomore year in high school, my skin was so terrible. I feel like I had acne and a rash on top of the acne. At one point, I had 2 huge, I can't think of what they were called, but 2 huge kind of knobs on the side of my face, which ended up being an allergy to feathers, and I had a down comforter. But so I started eating very healthy. My mom was doing everything she could to try to figure out how to get me healthy. My uncle was a rep for a vitamin company. So I was taking these big, huge horse pills, many of them every single day, eating on a Candida diet, no sugar, no dairy. And I was getting little to no progress I was making with my health. And then I thought of this when Wendy gave her experience, because we were getting pressure to take me to the doctor, because everybody was hearing that, you know, if she's so sick, then why doesn't she go to the doctor? And I went to the doctor. I got tested for 3 things. I know Epstein-Barr was one of them, and diabetes and another. And when my test results came back, my mom said to my dad, "You have to take her, because I know the doctor is going to say there's nothing wrong with her. And I know there's something wrong." And that's exactly what happened. He said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to go to a dermatologist." So I, again, just started slipping into depression, because I felt like I was trying so hard to get healthy. And the first step was I went to a family friend who's a deep muscle massage therapist. Was terrified to do it, because all I knew was that my mom went there and had to get half undressed and came home black and blue. And I thought, I'm not doing this. But he never even gave me a treatment. He just said to me, "Tiffany, I want to ask you one question." He said, "How often are you eliminating every day?" And that was such a light bulb moment, because I realized not only was I not eliminating doing bowel movements, but I was not even urinating for most of the day. So my digestive system was like completely shutting down. I started doing enemas, doing whatever I could to try to get my digestive system to work. But again, nothing was really helping all that much. And my mom was very good friends with Lisa. And she said, "I remember the day we got in this huge fight, because she said, you're going to have Lisa come over and tell you about Sunrider." And I cried, and I said, this almost makes me emotional saying this, but I said, "Mom," I said, "I have determined I will never have a normal life." I'm like, this is going to be my life. And my mom forced it. She said, "Lisa is coming over, and you don't have to do the product, but you have to listen to her presentation." And I said, "Okay." So Lisa came over. I laugh about this because she brought her son, who was my age, and he had a crush on me. And I was like, okay, now I'm really not doing this. So it was just a hard time in my life. But I sat on the floor with my arms crossed, listening to Lisa. And within 5 minutes, I had uncrossed my arms, and I was like, this is it. And I was 16 years old, and I've never looked back. I started on the product that was 25 years ago. I'll be 41 next month. And it's the best thing for my health that has ever happened to me. I'm on the NBC program. I do Fortune Delight, Beauty Pearl. Lisa reminded me at Beauty Pearl helped me tremendously, because I had a major hormonal imbalance. And my skin has come leaps and bounds. And I cannot even tell you how it feels to have people say to me, "Oh my word, what do you do for your skin?" because of the history I have with poor skin. So that is, in a nutshell, my experience.
Thank you so much. That was very, very touching too. Thank you. So does anybody else? It's 2:57, so we want to be done pretty quickly. Does anybody just have a real quick one they want to share? Okay, then we're going to go on, and Judy's going to tell us what's coming up next week.
Okay, as a reminder to everyone, Dr. Karen Dees is every Tuesday afternoon, and that is 3 p.m. Pacific time for Arizona, and the rest of you can figure out your own time. And this is a teleconference call. The number is 515-606-5187. They ask you for a code, which is 745030#. And this is such a fabulous free way to learn in depth the real power of these products. I can't say enough good about this. So tap into this resource for education. It's just excellent. And we have a special meeting this coming Thursday, and this is going to be hosted by Jackie Malin. And it's going to be Sunrider and Pets. So it's a Zoom meeting this Thursday, February 11th, 4 p.m.
And if you have a pet story, bring it with you.
Yes, you can share. And also, we're going to see how this goes, but we would like to do our own. So be thinking, all of us have pet stories. I have almost as many pet stories as I have people stories. So this is going to be fun. So I'll real quickly give you the code, but all of us are going to supply this to all of you later too. But the Zoom meeting number for the pet meeting is 608-566-7245, and the passcode is Callie, CALLI. So I hope you can join us for that one. That'll be a lot of fun.
It's
But
at
the biggest event
4
ever,
o'clock Arizona time,
yes, 4 p.m. Sorry, Arizona time,
3
and
p.m.
that would make it 3 Pacific, and you know the rest.
Judy,
Okay.
Judy, my internet stopped for a minute and I just got back on. Would you mind just repeating what day that is?
That is Thursday, February 11th, 4 p.m. Arizona time. Do you need the number?
If you don't mind, yeah.
Yes, Zoom meeting number 608-566-7245, and the passcode is Callie.
Is that with a
Okay,
capital
thank you so
C
much.
or a little c?
That's a good question. If you don't get in with the big, use the small. I think it's big.
I think, well, you mean the Cali part?
Yes.
When she sent it, it was a lowercase.
Okay, lowercase then. That's
So
the,
try
that's
it if it doesn't work.
all right, good. So the passcode, Callie, lowercase. Okay, and now the really big
Okay.
event is next Saturday, February 13th. We're going to have a very special meeting, and you already know it's about the Daily Wellness 5, which will be great, a review for some and a great time to bring new people. But the exciting thing is that it's a meeting to honor all of you, all of the people who've supported this, who have brought others and enjoyed it. And it will be a especially good time to bring a new friend and a guest, because we're going to have drawings. So it's going to be fun. You can win free product, win free system, sample packets, all sorts of things. So we really hope you'll join us. We want to show our appreciation to all of you, and we would appreciate the support of the meeting. It's all in preparation for Sunrider Day, which has been declared the next following Thursday, the 18th. But this is our contribution to that, and we wouldn't have these if you weren't a part of it. So please join us, and we want to show our appreciation for all of you.
So we're going to record on the 13th and then supply this to Sunrider. And then on Sunrider Day, which is the North America, so it's Canada and the United States, on that day, they asked that people all over these two countries do some kind of meeting or something. So what we're going to do is, I'm not sure yet if it's 2 or 3 times a day, we'll let you know, but 2 to 3 times on Thursday, we're going to do a 15-minute. And what it's going to be is the 3 packs that we just got. We're going to very briefly tell you what's in them. And then you're going to be able to play some games to win prizes. And so who's going to get to play is anybody who brings a guest. So bring a guest, because if you bring a guest, you'll get to play the game and win something. And it's going to be Sunrider products. It's not just something, it's Sunrider products. And whoever brings somebody and whoever is the guest will get to play the game and win. So 15 minutes, probably going to be like 12:30, 3:30, 6:30, something like that. So we'll let you know about that, but we'll get to play. So that'll be fun too. Okay, so thank you all for coming. We appreciate your attendance, and we hope you keep eating Sunrider and regenerate your body. And we will see you hopefully Thursday for the pet one and Saturday for our meeting. Thank you all. And if you have questions, ask the person who invited you to the call, and they will be happy to answer them for you. Thank you all.
Thanks all. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Speaking.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Lisa, if you're going to do the daily wellness next Saturday, I need to give you those the individual slides, right, of those products.
That would be great.
Okay.
And go put those in. And the other thing that I would like to have is right after the one that's, wait a minute. Just before the SunFit 321 starts, where
Mhm.
how to get started, the the Sunrider meal foods. So
That's what I'm talking about. I'll
I mean, we
make you.
it was okay, fine. I didn't want to ask you to do more than you've already done this week. I'm sure you've got other things to do, but if we could do that, that would be great. But I mean, you know, we did okay. I'm going to stop recording now that I've said all.
The individual product slides.